The most important person in the whole wide world is you, and you hardly even know you. The most important person in the whole wide world is you. Come on, we'll show you. Let's find out more about the things you feel and do, 'cause you're the most important person in the world to you.
Hello, friends and family and visitors. Thank you for joining me today. I am Sonia Spirit, and today's topic, One4ALLisLove presents Know Thyself, Fading Fast in 9 days. So before we get started, I have to let everyone know. Initially it was planned to complete the Think and Grow Rich, do the second part. I was moved, so to speak, not to complete it. And now it makes sense, all the difficulties I had just getting the first half out. The first time I recorded, it didn't record. There was no sound. The second time, the audio was horrible. And then I was moved to not even complete it. And I was just passed on the information for myself as well as others, I suppose, certainly for myself. But of course, an initiate takes the initiative to his or her own initiation. So, basically, if you're interested, if you want to know more about Think and Grow Rich, the book is free online. The audio book is free online if you don't want to read it. And then we can have a dialogue. We can actually have an episode where you discuss or express your ideas, what you think about the material. And we'll go from there. Okay, so that's where we're at with Think and Grow Rich. Okay, so now, back to the being moved part. So last Wednesday, when we were having some Q&A about some of the concepts in Think and Grow Rich, that morning, last Wednesday morning, during meditation, I had been inspired or received a message, whatever you want to call it, to fast for 9 days. So I was like, Now, I've fasted before. I think the most I've done is 7 days, is a week. But I don't think I did like water only. It may have just been, like I might have had lemon water or cucumber water, something to keep the energy level up. Okay. And when I recall, then the first 3 days were a struggle. But once I got past the 3 days, I mean, I had bouts, spells where I had cravings and things, but I fought through it. And of course, I was successful in 7 days. And I've gone vegetarian, no meat. Once for 30 days, another time for a year, and then a long, long time ago for a couple of years. And once again, like the first week is probably tough, and then you fight through it. So I was thinking about that, but I mean, I didn't think about it for a long time. I just thought about it. It came to mind. And I said, okay, well, I'll do it. I mean, if I got the message of meditation, I feel like it's something I'm supposed to do. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And then, of course, my mind starts racing. Like, okay, because at that particular day, I think was October 23rd. Yes, October 23rd. So I'm sitting here saying, okay, so the date adds up to the number 9, and there's 9 more days left. And into the end of the month, there's 9 more days left. So I don't know. This is me running with a concept. But I mean, none of that was a factor. I had already said that I, committed to doing it. And I have no idea what will become of it, but it has been an interesting experience. So the first 3 days were actually the first 5 days. I actually had a theme song for the first 5 days. The Isley Brothers, nothing but smooth sailing. But that 6th day, so the first 5 days I didn't have any hunger pains or nothing like that. And to be quite honest, I haven't experienced any hunger pains. And I watch food shows. My sweetie cooks in the house, so I smell foods, and none of that has bothered me. And thank you, universe, for that, because I certainly appreciate that. I know how powerful the sense of smell is on the body. So, the first 5 days, no problem. The 6th day, which is what? Monday, I started feeling weak. I wasn't hungry, but I felt weak, like malnourished weak, like naked and afraid weak, like minus being out in the sun, because that would have been all the more worse. But just feeling weak. So everything, and I guess things were starting to slow down. I just didn't know it. That it feels like everything was slowing down. Because I could see myself, it sounds kind of crazy, like looking at myself objectively when I was interacting with people. And not necessarily, in person, but like on the phone. It's like, okay. And, but what I noticed about the slowing down part was being patient. I'm a very Gemini. I'm a very impulsive, insatiably curious person. So my mind is, when people talk about the monkey mind, listen, I got the jungle going on. Okay, but I noticed that things have been slowing down, like so. Even my response to other people's energy, now I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed being able to observe it. So I appreciated that. So I realized that's something that I'm supposed to work on. It's like, okay, well, what does an example of what, of how I should be responding in terms of energy? And it should, it reminds me of a scene from The Lord of the Rings where Frodo gets on Gandalf about arriving late, and Gandalf says, a wizard is never early or late. I'm ad-libbing. He arrives just when he's supposed to. So, basically, that's it. Don't hurry. Don't concern yourself about time. Just do what you're supposed to do, and everything else will take care of itself. At least that's what I got out of it, that experience. Okay. So, by day 6, I'm feeling weak. But I'm having, like, some incredible thoughts. Okay, here's one. So one of the reasons why, because I keep inquiring, but as far as like the Think and Grow Rich thing, not to finish it, I was like, why not? Like I said I was gonna do it, I gave my word. Yeah, this is me in a conversation with self, whomever. But it had a lot to do with everybody's on a different path. So don't spoon feed and don't force feed anyone. Because if you spoon feed them, you make them dependent. And if you force feed them, you're just going to turn them away and it's not going to work anyway. So, you kind of want to introduce enough to pique someone's interest. Let the material hook them. Okay, fair enough. Works for me. So, and that's the part about, being an initiate. Like anybody who's ever been part of an organization or indoctrinated into part of an organization, there's usually, they got different names, but it all equals an initiate. And, that's what it is. You have to take the initiative. It has to be something that you want. So, and if you want it, then you will follow through. Now, I understand about needing direction because I'm all over the place as far as material. But, I still get the information, but I'm sure it would be a whole lot faster if I had a beeline. Okay. So let's continue. Okay, so part of the thoughts, that was one about Think and Grow Rich. So I said, okay, fine. Another one is like stop talking, basically. So many words. Listen, I know this is a podcast, that a radio show. That's what you're supposed to do, is talk. But more demonstrating. So I want to introduce a healing segment. Last week I gave a shout out to a good friend of mine, and she's going through quite a bit health-wise. So I am sending, and I would invite you to also send love, light, and healing energy to my good friend Tammy. May she heal from the inside out. So be it, and so it is. Okay. All right. So, yes, I've been moved to demonstrate, be active. I talk about how powerful energy is, but if we don't use it, who's ever going to know? What is going to be the best kept secret? Okay, that's not going to work. So, let's start using it. And we all have the magic power. We all have, we can work on having a clear channel and being a conduit. But we all have God's energy in us. Anyway, so that is our gift to another. Yes, we can heal ourselves, but let's also heal another. That way, for anyone who has maybe soft faith, you're sure to be blessed. It's the boomerang effect. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. What you do to your brother comes back to you. Now, if you perceive your brother as an enemy, it still comes back to you, but you get the point. Okay. So fasting for 9 days. Like I said, the first 5, no problem. I'm feeling good, singing thank you, universe, in the mirror, smiling, dancing. Like I said, day 6 kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. well, it didn't really hit me like a ton of bricks. It wasn't until I was going to retire for the evening and living in the townhouse, I ascended the stairs, and when I got to the top, I was tired. So I was like, uh-oh. Look, way too much celebrating on nothing but smooth sailing. So I didn't think much of it, but yesterday, yesterday I felt it. Yesterday I felt it. So I kind of just stayed pretty stationary whenever possible yesterday. But like I said, I've had some very interesting thoughts. Very interesting thoughts. So, of course, speaking on the initiate, as the initiate, I must take the initiative to enter initiation and be the authority over my body. My soul is a conduit. So, yeah, a lot of thoughts, of course, is on the, esoteric, metaphysical, things like that. Another thought, be the authority over your own energy, then be open and receptive to God's gift. Because we are built to receive. So we're designed to receive. And God is the giver. God is the bestower. But there's a part of us that wants to give as well. And we should learn to give. If you notice, and people who know this, they usually give, and you usually see them give a lot of money. Those who have it, and even those who don't. They just give what they have or what they can afford to give. Because what you give, you will also receive. That's part of the universal laws when the subsets of like cause and effect. Law of attraction. Okay, so, but as far as the fasting thing, just everyday events, it just seems so interesting. So as the body is getting weak, as my body is getting weak, as my body is getting weak, I start thinking that I understand how elderly people must feel. And I use the term elderly, and I can't put an age to it because, to me, elderly is more of a state of mind. Because I know some spry 70-year-olds, and I know some spunky 70-year-olds. And 80-year-olds. So, and I just don't think of them as elderly. But anyway, so that's just my hang up on my definition. But anyway, but what, like an elderly person or a sickly person, they don't even have to be elderly, a sickly person. As far as the lack of energy, taking all the strength. And this is what I was going through, especially yesterday. It took all the strength I had just to go to the bathroom. And like I said, when I went upstairs, that's when I noticed it on Monday. By Tuesday, my breathing was labored by the time I got up the stairs. All I wanted to do was sit down in the nearest chair. And I was like, this is interesting. Now, what's really interesting, though, and I'll get back to that because it was really interesting, but, I know why I'm going through it, or I understand why I'm going through it. But what was really interesting is when I started feeling weak yesterday. So of course, good old conscious wanted to be oh so helpful. Conscious like, listen, we don't have to do this. Look, all you gotta do is get something to eat, and all this will be over. You'll have your strength back. You don't have to worry about your health. You ain't got to worry about being in danger of falling or hitting your head or anything like that. And let me tell you something. For a hot 10 minutes, conscious was almost on to something. But I shook it off. I was like, no. Look, we've gone 2/3 of the way because this was yesterday. It was like we've gone 2/3 of the way. Whoever we are, all of me. Look, my spirit, soul, and body, my mind, soul, and body. Anyway, so we've got 2/3 of the way. And hunger hasn't been the issue. Are you kidding me? I can't give up. So we're going to get through this. And of course I'm looking for signs from the universe. Like, is it okay to eat? Needless to mention, that sign didn't come. So anyway, and I didn't harp on that. I was just kept my awareness antenna up for such. But it was just interesting how low my energy would get, and I know sugar, missing vitamins, the whole nine. I get it. I understand, why I'm going through it, because that's not important either. It's just let's drink this water and let's get through the day. So, it's to the point where I just want to go to bed and wake up and it's Friday morning or Friday after midnight. So then we get to this morning. So I got up at about 4:30 so I could start my meditation practice. And I run into the door jam. Hard. Enough for blood and a lot. And needless to mention, that did not help my situation on being weak. So now I'm go to the bathroom and I just sit on top of the toilet and just sit there for a while to collect my bearings. When I realize I'm bleeding now. So I'm like, okay. Last thing I need, I already don't have any nutrients in my body. Now I'm about to lose what little blood I got. Yes, I'm silly. So anyway, but listen, I'm like, how much more abuse am I gonna have to take? So once again, of course, good old conscience, he kicks in. You got mini bagels, you got crackers, you have some Brussels sprouts. It's like naming stuff that I could just grab just to, for sustenance. And I'm more concerned about what kind of condition my head is in because I just hit the doorway and I realize I'm bleeding. And when I look in the mirror, it's a little knot. It's tender up there, so I hit it hard. But anyway, it was just interesting how the conscious, or whoever it was, whatever you want to call it, some people used to call it the devil, but I call it the conscious because it was trying to reason with me. And that's what the conscious does. The conscious reasons. So it was the conscious trying to reason me. And see, this is what gets interesting for me. Because when I say me, okay, if the conscious is trying to reason with me to eat something, then who is the real me? Because we got an I. We know who the I is. I mean, I is God. I is the spirit of life in you, the breath of life, the spirit of life, the fire of life, the monad, whatever you want to call it. But it's getting back to the conscious. But so anyway, the conscious is over here trying to reason with me, whoever me is, and and get me to eat. Now, and we should all know this. When you are talked out of something, it's generally because you want to be talked out of something. I know that doesn't apply to everything, but generally you want to be talked out. You want to be talked out of something or talked into something, whatever it is. And I knew it when the conversation was taking place, the reasoning. It made sense, and yeah, it would make my weakness issues go away. But I can't forget how I haven't experienced any hunger pains, and that probably means more to me than anything. So giving up or balancing this weakness that I'm experiencing by eating, for one, I can't entertain it, or I won't entertain it, because that was an inner commitment that I made. It was like, hey, fast for 9 days. It didn't say hey, but fast for 9 days. And I said, okay, sure, no problem. And for me not to experience the hunger issue really let me know that this was a spiritual call. I love food. I like eating. And the greasier, the better. I don't eat healthy. I'm not going to pretend like I do. Now, I do love salads, and I eat a lot of those. Okay, this is not what this is about. Okay. So, for me not to have experienced the hunger, like I said, that didn't just wash over me. That didn't gloss over me lightly. For me not to have experienced any hunger, like I said, and I watch food shows. It let me know that was a spiritual call. So for conscious to suggest whatever it called itself doing, that I go ahead and eat so I don't have to worry about bashing my skull. No, I didn't even consider it. I was like, are you kidding me? This is what's today? Day 8. I'm like, this is day 8. Now I'm 7.5 days into it. No. Yeah, this is day 8. Yeah, I'm going to 9. So I'm 7.5 days into it. why would I break my fast? Because the language is important. Why would I break my fast? Because I'm experiencing some weakness. I work from home, so it's not like I'm out, So I know everybody's situation is different. Because I don't know if I could do this if I had to go to the office every day for 9 days. At least Tuesday and Wednesday, Tuesday today. But yeah, so it's interesting. Now the weakness, of course, I wasn't expecting that one. So to have experienced it was different, but it wasn't. Of course, it wasn't enough to break me. But it was definitely different because I really pride myself on being agile. Mentally, spiritually, and physically. So to become exhausted, drained by going up a flight of stairs is it's unimaginable for me. It's not unimaginable, but it's unimaginable for me. But it's an eye-opening experience. Because you see yourself from a different perspective. Or you could, the opportunity is there to see yourself from a different perspective. Now I see why, the elderly love them ranches. Because if I felt this way all the time, that would be a challenge. I would only go downstairs, once. Well, whenever I went downstairs, I wouldn't come back because I'd only come back upstairs once. But yeah, so the fast for me has been a commitment. Now that's what's more interesting for me, not the weakness, not the hunger pain, but the commitment. So it's like, oh, well, what do you want to get out of it? Or what do you expect to happen? I don't know. All that wasn't disclosed. It was like just fast for 9 days. So while I'm on this journey, I might as well, take notes, see what's happening. What can I learn about myself? And let's just say how the past few episodes we've been talking about perseverance. So to me, this is an experience in perseverance. Because, yeah, I could have threw in the chips on day 6, day 7, when the going got rough. But I recognize that those first 5 days were special, were a blessing, were a sign. So just because things got a little rough for me, I'm not going to do what makes it easy for me. No, I'm going to make it through the 9 days. And that's what's going to happen. So for me, it's been a lesson in perseverance. Because the monkey mind, the inquisitive nature, well, there's a lot of, we live in a world of duality, so for every good quality, there is a not so great trait that goes with it. So, I'm good at starting things. And then as soon as I lose interest, yeah. So this for me was, it's been a lesson on perseverance. It's staying focused. Like, so, yeah, so, you know, we were talking about in the past couple of episodes about Think and Grow Rich, about perseverance, about focus, and I can truly say that this fasting experience, and it's not over yet, it's not over till tomorrow night at midnight, but this fasting experience has helped me to put things in perspective. It has helped me to focus my attention on not only myself, but seeing the good in as many experiences as I can. Whew. And beautiful stories. There's so many beautiful stories out there if you're looking for them. And when I say beautiful stories, I mean these are stories that you can use to inspire you, to move you. I was listening to Byron Allen this morning, when I was bedridden. Because this morning was the worst. But anyway, yeah, especially after knocking myself upside the head. But anyway, I was listening to Byron Allen. He was talking on The Breakfast Club, which is this hip-hop radio show in New York. But they also have a TV program. And he just told a very interesting story about how he made his way up. And it's the same story that everybody else has. Focus, passion, and perseverance. That's your recipe, folks. That's the recipe. Purpose, passion, and perseverance. Now, if you can find a purpose that moves you with passion, then you've hit the jackpot. But as I said before, or last week when it was one of the questions, passion is not a requirement for success. But like I said, it does make the road a whole lot easier. So, but yeah, he had a very good story. I was really moved by it. But I've been moved by a lot of different stories that I've been listening to. They've been so inspiring. And it's on, like, you know, the weirdest programs. But anyway. So, it has been an interesting 7.5 days. Even today it's been interesting. Like I said, I knocked myself upside the head to the door jamb, and it was like I was just drained with energy. I did my meditation, but not I couldn't do the full one. I was struggling. To sit up, to, you know, be erect. And the whole time, old good old conscious, trying to get me to get something to eat. So anyway, I'm struggling, energetically speaking. And I got, you know, a little work to do today. So I get that done. And it's like in between different assignments, I just lay in the bed. Because I had, like, no energy. Like, it was a struggle just to sit upright in a chair. So I'm thinking, you know, and I still go, I post the show today, and I still go through with it. So I'm thinking to myself, not go through with the show, but I post the show, and then I'm thinking to myself, how am I going to go through with it? I was like, I don't have any energy to sit up, let alone talk to somebody for an hour. And then all of a sudden, around 2:30-ish, my energy started changing. Now, I probably said this maybe 30 to 45 minutes prior to the energy started changing. But my energy started changing. Now, am I ready to run a marathon or up and down the stairs, for instance? No. But I have enough energy to do the show and complete the program. So, and of course, my point there is we can get whatever we want. It's all about being sincere and harmonized. Faith and faith is an energy wave. So it's not something that you can hide. So you don't have to tell others that you have faith or not. You don't have to advertise it. Now, if somebody asks, of course, you can answer the question. But, you don't have to advertise that you have faith. That's a personal relationship. Why is it necessary to put other people on notice? And this is just my thing. So if I'm stepping on anyone's toes, please forgive me. I'm just not one of those people who advertise. Oh, and I'm glad I said that because, yes, I definitely should apologize. That is something that we need to get away from. Measuring other people by our own standards. Thank you, universe, for that apropos lesson. Yes, we need to get away from measuring other people by our own standards. You don't know what someone else's experience is, and even if you do, you are not in their mind. You are not in their conscious and subconscious, so you couldn't begin to process it, understand and process it the same way that they do. Now, I know we can generalize about people, and we do that all the time. And I don't mean the stereotypical, but that too. But we judge people, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't. I can provide a lot of examples, but because what you're doing is basically saying, I'm the standard by which all others should be measured. And you are flawed. I am flawed. So I just sat here and said that, I'm not one of those people who advertise my faith. Okay, that is my prerogative. Now, if I want to keep it 100, that is my prerogative not to do it. But there's nothing wrong with someone who does. That is their prerogative. That's how they want to express themselves. Just because that wouldn't be my choice, who am I to judge or think differently of someone because they choose to express themselves differently? Now, is it imposing on me? No. So I should learn to accept and appreciate the difference. And that's my lesson. But that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, universe, for the lesson. But these are things that we have to work on. And let me tell you something. That is not easy to do. Well, I don't want to say it's not easy, because apparently it's not easy for me. And that's why I don't like to really categorize when I say things, because it won't blanketly apply to everyone. It's a general statement. That's why I say some people can quit something, and some people go through withdrawal and suffer. So something else the fasting taught me. I was appreciative to know that I don't have a food addiction. Even though I credit the Spirit for not suffering hunger pains, it was refreshing to know because we have addictions. We have so many addictions. We just think of drugs, alcohol, and even legal drugs. People, don't fool yourselves. Drugs are drugs. Them pharmaceuticals that you popping, that's another show for another day. But emotional dependencies, chemical dependencies, we have many addictions. The key is, don't beat yourself up about it because that's not even relevant. Discover what yours are and eliminate them. And the reason I was appreciative to discover that I didn't have, a food addiction, because there was a time when I did. like I said, I still love food. I love to eat food. I don't make it like I used to. But I do. I love food. I mean, I can. Okay, never mind. Let's focus. So what I'm saying is, fasting. Now, I don't recommend everybody fast, and I don't recommend everybody fast the way I did by just drinking water, for 9 days. But if you want to, go for it. But I'm not telling people this is what they need to do to get spiritually in touch. That's not what I'm saying, and don't let that be the message. I'm just sharing with you my experiences and what I've gotten out of it so far. But, I mean, fasting, of course, historically, I mean, there's so much evidence about people becoming spiritually enlightened or enriched or connected through fasting. And let me tell you what's even funnier. So when the conscience, remember I was telling you I was looking for signs. So when the conscience initially had told me, go get this or that and the third to eat, and then I basically went to the universe and was like, do I need to eat? The universe didn't respond. The universe said, no, you need to meditate some more. And I thought that was hilarious. I know we don't think of the universe as having a sense of humor, but I asked for an answer and I got one. So I was like, okay, as long as I can keep my sense of humor, I am so good to go. So the universe said, no, just go meditate some more. But the conversation got deeper. It's like, listen, all the nutrients you need, the energy that you need, and maybe that's what I need to focus on. I can sustain myself, feed my soul as well as my body through meditation. And of course, by this morning, I hadn't learned that. Because I was like, whoa, what is this for? When I collected my bearings, that's what I was pondering. What is this for? What does this mean? Why is this happening? So, it is what it is. But, and then I also had another thought about fasting 3 days a month, because that would be 10% of the month. Now, initially, back when I was on this fast in day one, I was thinking about doing the first 3 days of each month, and then I just have the rest of the month to myself. That's not gonna happen. At least not for November. So I'm gonna have to pick maybe next week to do 3 consecutive days. But I want to do 3 consecutive days at the first of the month, just to clean out my system physically and maybe focus energetically. So, because fasting does help you focus, and not just on I'm hungry, because like I said, that wasn't my experience this time. Because I'm not at that place anymore, which I'm grateful for. But because now I'm looking for, okay, I'm open, I'm receptive, I'm aware. What we gonna do? I'm looking for the next adventure. What's the next lesson? I'm excited. And this is what I'm passionate about. Discovering the truth. How does this work? Who are we? What are we? What is this journey that we're on? How does it? Going back to how does it work? You know what I mean? How do we fit in? Just want to understand the process and the pieces, the components, the history, the ability to create. I mean, all these things are so fascinating. But when you spend time thinking about it, like I said, we can instantly manifest now. And that's because when we do it, it's really unbeknownst to us, but we focus. The easiest one that comes to mind, like I said, is losing car keys. We focus, we channel, we focus that energy, and we send signals out to the universe until we get the message on where the keys are. And there was another example that I had of us being able to instantly manifest, but it happens. But it does happen. I'm just glad it doesn't happen all of the time, which means there must be a conflict between the conscious and the subconscious when we don't instantly manifest. And to a degree, I'm appreciative of that as well. Until I get my energy together, I don't want to be able to fully manifest instantly. I mean, because we all manifest anyway. I don't want to be able to do it instantly for every thought that passes. I think about a lot of ignorant stuff. And even though I'm, dissipating that energy, it's still in the rotation. So, but as I'm growing into understanding my own energy and how to be the authority of it, then I know as far as me being in alignment is concerned, it'll be a lot easier to manifest faster. I don't want to always say instantly because instantly won't always be the case, but faster. And, so that's my passion. And I don't even think I discovered it when I got on the path in 2015. I don't think I discovered it until probably, I don't know, maybe last year, that this is something that genuinely moves me. So, anyway, but that's what's good about Think and Grow Rich, though. Think and Grow Rich, what he talks about and how he lays it out in the book, he provides beautiful examples, and he just tells you the ingredients that you need to be successful. And it's not rocket science. Purpose, passion, persistence. If you can build a network of like-minded people, Surround yourself with people, wiser than you. Don't be insecure. That's that old management versus leadership mentality. Management always felt threatened if the employees or its subordinates knew more than they did and it got out. Whereas, a leader is like, I expect you to know more than I do because I intend to use you as a resource. So that's your function here. So you see the difference. I forgot where I was going with this, but anyway. But so there's a difference as far as those mentalities are concerned. So if you are on this path, I hope you enjoy it. It's not going to always be easy. It will be very challenging, but it won't be so difficult that it becomes unbearable. So, build a network of friends. Even if you just start off with one person that you can talk to about things you're going through spiritually, mentally, psychically, because it helps. And then you can grow and feed off each other. And you'll grow a lot faster, too, because you're sharing that energy and you got more of the tapping into the superconscious. So, okay, so next week, I'm not sure what we're doing next week. I'm looking for some inspiration. And if I receive it over the weekend, I will go ahead and post the show. But remember to focus when you have an opportunity. Focus, send some love, light, and healing energy to my good friend Tammy Madden. Let's show her and everyone how powerful healing energy can be. Heal her from her head to her toes, from the inside out. So be it and let it be. Okay, well, that's all that I have. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time and attention. Know thyself and stay blessed. Goodbye.